recording now.
You forgot your name.
I was like, I don't feel like introducing myself. It feels weird. Hi, I'm Ajane Celestine from Aeon Dream Studios. I'm the leader, and this is...
I'm Jacqueline, also known as Jackie. I'm a writer of Aeon Dream Studios.
And we wanted to do a video because a lot of stuff has changed lately, and then there's also like a lot of rumors and stuff going on surrounding us. Mm-hmm. And we don't know why there's rumors exactly, because we keep being really open and honest about exactly what happened, but we wanted to address some of those because of the fact that it's also reaching, like, we don't really care about the haters and the hate and all that stuff itself, but it's starting to affect some of our fans that had nothing to do with it, and they're getting worried, and we know that for them that they would like some answers. And we don't read the hate. We try not to like surround ourselves with that, because we're trying to create and we're trying to work right now. So why, it would cause us anxiety to read the hate and all of that. So we don't know like specifics, and we don't want to know specifics, but we want to make sure that we're not just like leaving the good fans that trust in us out, even if there are people who are trying to be malicious on purpose. I mean, in general, we know that there are people who have been concerned about the delays and lack of communication, and I've written several blogs about that. And I think that all those feelings and stuff are valid. And like if you're disappointed or upset or frustrated and all that stuff, I think that's all valid. When I say fans that are having or malicious, I'm talking more about fans who are doing nothing besides like spreading
rumors that have not been proven in any way except by people saying, "Oh, this happened," but there's like nothing to really prove it.
And they just seem like they have bad intent. Like the only intent would be to hurt us, because it's not going to help anything to spread rumors that aren't true. And we've already said things that are the truth, and we can't help it whether or not people believe us or not. Like, all we can do is tell the truth. But so anyway, we just wanted to address some of those things. And then we also wanted to talk about the actual like development stuff, because first of all, like if you didn't know already, we're on a hiatus, and we're on a hiatus because of financial reasons, but also like, so that means when I say I'm on a hiatus, like I detailed this in my blog, but it means that we're not releasing stuff, but we're still doing stuff outside that.
We're still working, just not releasing anything right now. Like, especially with the recent turn of events, with the loss of staff, we now have to organize ourselves. So we're still doing things, but we're not releasing new content or anything like that.
Right. So it was like a compound situation. Like, first it was the budget problem, and then like at the time the budget problem happened, like one of our founding members, Agle, left that and due to personal mental health issues. And so because of both of those things, we just decided to like take a step back and focus on actually like catching up on our projects and getting things out to people and stuff. But we know that we can't release things right now, because releases take a lot of development time and a lot of resources, and we have to pay freelancers and all that stuff. Like, while we can't do that right now, we can still work on content and talking to people, like customer service and stuff like that. Like, we can't focus on doing that right now when we're trying to focus on stuff creatively. And plus, people right now are mad at us, so it's like we also couldn't even create if we were gonna try to talk to people and stuff. So like right now, I've been working on a restructure of the business, and I posted those things on our blog, on our website blog. And the restructures include like having other people, like I'm going to hire other people to talk to fans and stuff like that, so that we can focus on the internal development. And so you can read all those changes and the more details on the website blog. But basically, yeah, we're on a hiatus. And the other thing I wanted to say is that people don't seem to realize it, but it's literally only been
it's just us.
Yeah, it's just us. It's literally just us. Like, I hire freelancers that work with us, but they aren't a part of the creative team. Like, I just say, hey, can you draw me this thing? And then I tell them how to, like, what I want. And then I pay them per project. Like I don't even pay them for the whole project. It's like they're not contracted per project. They are literally contracted per piece. So it's like they're not involved in a creative process. They're only involved in the creative process of their own piece that they're doing. They're not like involved in overall stories or any of that stuff. So it's just us. It's always been never more than 3 people at a time that were a part of
Except for like
ADS.
1 month, the first month that I had joined. Actually, 2 months. The first 2 months that I had joined, it was 4 of us because our previous artist was with you guys at the time. She was part. Remember, she was part. No, Marta.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like Marta was there, and like it was them 3, and then I joined, and then there was 4 for like 2 months. And but other than that, there's never been more than 3 people.
Right, there's never been more than 3 people, so it's not like when I talk about we as ADS, I'm talking about literally like me plus a couple other people. And I always have worked in such a way where I like say, hey, I want to say this stuff to the public, like, and then I share it with ADS, like the people who are ADS at the time, and I'm like, hey, do you guys approve of this? And then y'all have a chance to say yes or no, or what you think about it or whatever. So everything has been approved by the team, that team, the like 3 to 4 people.
Yeah, like especially the recent blog posts where people are like, oh, you threw them under the bus, or oh, I doubt that you guys agreed on the wording. Like, yes, we did. We looked it over and agreed on the wording. So we're admitting to our mistakes. So I don't understand why people think that you're maliciously targeting the rest of the team, especially when you've been taking on the blame. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I've done my best to try not to have involve the team. Like I take the blame because I know ultimately like what happens with the team reflects on me. Like, and I know I know as a leader that I have control over a situation. It's up to me to avoid the bad things that have happened. And I've admitted that I've made mistakes and I should have done things differently. And I wish I'd done things differently, but I literally can't go back into the past. And I've apologized countless times, and people, for some reason, it makes people angry. And then I don't know, it's like I can't do anything to please people except to actually work and release the thing.
Except when you work and release the thing, people get upset when you're not releasing the thing, when you have to work to release the thing.
Yeah, basically people get upset when we don't communicate that we're working on releasing the thing. But it's like communication takes a lot of resources too. So sometimes, so it can be sporadic with communication, and I've apologized for our lack of communication, and I've apologized for the delays, and because we're such a small team undertaking like big tasks, it's been hard to like consistently answer people when they ask questions and stuff like that. Like we try, but I know that's an area that we are weak in and that we're failing in. And that's why I've decided to like redo it, like hire somebody to handle that. Like actually have already, I forgot to tell you this, but actually have a guy already who's interested in working with us when we do come back. So he just agreed to, we were in talks, but he just agreed today. Okay. So like he might take over talking to people and all of that stuff. So like I understand like there's areas we're weak in, and that was frustrating. And I'm not saying anyone shouldn't be mad at us, but I don't understand where the rumors and lies and malicious intent are coming from, because they don't actually help get the game out any sooner.
I don't know. People act like spreading the rumors are going to. It's like people are acting like we're just sitting on the game already completed, and that if they spread enough rumors, then it's going to get released. But that's not how it works at all. Yeah. The game is not done. None of it is done. We're working on finishing it, and the rumors and demanding answers from us and stuff, that actually slows us down a bit. And it's not like we don't want to answer you. That's why I made this video.
Yeah. But it's just hard. It's too hard to answer every individual person, and it takes a lot of stress. It's like very stressful. It takes a lot out of us to address negativity constantly. But that's why I just make like big blog posts for everyone to read the truth. It is frustrating because people think we're not working on the game, or they think that we have the game done and we're not sharing it or something. And it's like there's neither of those. The game is being worked on. All the games are being worked on at any time. And at any given time, we have a bunch of stuff that we just haven't been able to show you yet, because releases themselves can take a long time releases themselves can take 1 to 2 weeks to even kind of try to get out. So it's like, because there's just so much involved with game development. We're such a small team, and things, and there's so many people. And I understand that we like overpromised on some things and stuff for like crowdfunding, and but we still committed to finishing it anyway. Like regardless, like that's our problem that we did that we overpromised, and we apologize for that. I apologize for that. Didn't like a lot of the mistakes we've made come from the fact that we were amateurs, and we learned. But we learned.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to say that we're like me and Jackie are like we're a new team. So you haven't actually seen the ADS that is just us two. You've seen, like, I've been in the team since the get-go. It was my idea. So it's been me, but at the same, Jackie joined in late 2017, I think.
I
very late,
early actually,
2018.
I joined in February of 2018.
Right.
I believe it was January. I believe it was February 6th. Exactly.
And I did. That's very specific.
Very specific day. I was having a bad day, and then you approached me to hire me, and that's why I remember.
Right. Yeah. And then Jackie wasn't able to really get involved in there for a long time, and I was doing To the Edge of the Sky, and she was put on the Echoes team that already existed, and so we didn't actually get to work together in the kind of capacity that we are now. Like, I'm working with Jackie Jackie is now my writing partner, and we didn't get to work on the game in the way that we are doing now. So the way that we approach development has changed as of Agle leaving, and the way that we approach, all the new things we decided to do are to address problems that have been going on for, a long time. And because we want to, like, when Agle had to leave, and when we did the hiatus and stuff, we said, like, there are these problems and they've been bothering both of us. We were able to talk to each other honestly and figure out what had been happening for the last year. And yeah, we should have done that from the beginning. I totally agree. Like, and if you're frustrated over that, that's valid. But we can't change the past. All we can do is go forward. And we talked about how not to make the mistakes again. Mm-hmm. I just wish that people would be able to at least give us a chance, and that, like, to give us a chance to show you, like, us addressing the issues. Mm-hmm. I know in the past that we said we were going to, like, I understand that trust is damaged. I think that's totally
that's valid.
Fair.
Totally, like, we're not blaming you guys. Like, we're not saying, oh, you should still trust us. We understand. I would feel the exact same way if I was in your position. But, like, all we're asking for is, like, another chance, because we're a new team and we learn from our mistakes.
Right. The team has changed so much, and everything's so different. And I never, like, I've never had a team of this makeup before, and I hadn't been this far along, in my, like, I just learned so much. So it's like, this is the way that me and Jackie work. This is an opportunity to change things up a lot, because the way that me and Jackie work, we found out, even though she had been a part of of ADS for a while, she wasn't working with me specifically, and the roles that she took over, like, she was like a junior writer, and then now she's at a, like, higher or more equal role. So it's like she has more influence and say over things, and it's like that we found out that we worked together really well, and that we had the same vision for the company, and we had the same vision for the games, and it's been really that's a positive thing that came out of all of the change and everything. And we're really excited to, like, show how we're going to be different, like, improve that. But with all the negativity going on, it's really slowing us down, actually, because people keep coming to us and they're like, hey, all this stuff is being said about you. And we're like, but we've already addressed this. I've already written multiple blog posts telling the truth. And they're like, oh, no, these rumors and stuff are being made up. And we're just like, why? Like, we already said what happened. I don't understand.
Confused. We don't understand why all these things are coming to light, especially a recent one that came up, and it's surprising for both of us, actually. This latest one.
Apparently one of our former artists, which I think she was only an artist for us for about 4 months. Her name is Marta. Apparently she's come up and is, like, is leaving messages or something, talking about us, like, rumors wise. actually heard this from other people. Like we weren't looking at the comments, and then people started wondering if it's true. Like didn't want to say anything to it because people have been twisting our words every time we talk. Like instead of just taking what we say at face value, people every time we try to defend ourselves or explain ourselves, even if it's the truth, people twist our words and get angrier at us. So we just thought, okay, we're just going to leave the whole thing alone. It doesn't matter what she says because we know the truth. But however, innocent fans were starting to get worried and dragged into some of the things she said, and that's when I was like, well, how do I address this? How do I tell the truth? How do we say? How do we explain what happened without giving like negative? Like we didn't want to give attention to what we know as lies. We didn't want to give attention to that, and we never to go into it. We never had that kind of. We never had a personal relationship with Marta, the former artist that we're talking about. We never had a personal relationship. We never became like friends, close friends. We were like like she was very much like a freelancer, but she was involved in our creative process. So I did consider her a part of ADS, and I did pay her like that, like on that kind of schedule rather than like she was she was completely like the art director for ADS period, and that's how we treated her. But she is apparently claiming something about like emotional abuse or something like that. I don't know what, but we never had that problem.
Yeah, no, from what I saw of the claims, it was like emotional abuse and like gaslighting and like things along that line. But we never talked to her like that. Like we never talked to her much at all, except outside of like work. And this is coming from somebody who actually tried to befriend her. Like we had private chats. It was like we had one with me, her, and Agle. Like we were trying to talk to her, but she didn't talk to us first. Like she only talked to us whenever we'd spoken, and she never carried the conversation in like a personal way. And then in the group ADS chat, she only really came in whenever she was talking about work or like updates or things like that. So we didn't have that. We didn't even have the opportunity, so to speak. Not that we wanted to, like to hurt her or anything like that, but we didn't even have that chance because she kept it on a very professional level. So I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Yeah,
I barely got to see her around.
Particularly with me and her, we were very distant from each other and on a personal level, but we worked fine on a professional. Like I thought we worked fine on a professional level.
Everything looked fine.
So like, I mean, and her tweets and stuff. Like if you were to go back to the time of early 2018, you would not see anything of what she's claiming because she never said anything about that or anything like that. We didn't have those problems, and if we had those kind of problems, then I don't understand why we would do that. But if we had those kind of problems, she probably would have like said something. I assume sooner than a year. She only came into this when everybody else was attacking us for who knows exactly what reasons. When we've already apologized and said that we'll do better, but she didn't say anything for a year. So there's that. And we never, like I said, we never had a personal, like we weren't friends. Like Jackie and Agle and I were friends, but like I just like that. But we kept our conversations separate from her because she clearly wanted to be professional, which is fine. I'm totally fine with people maintaining a professional relationship, and we work together fine. Well, like I would say we worked together even well. And then her health issues hit, where she said that she was having this and that, and she posted about it on Twitter and asked us to post about it on Twitter as well. And there was like a whole month where she didn't work.
Yeah, it was the whole month of March.
Yeah, the whole month of work.
She didn't work the whole month of March, and we kept trying to get her to like stop and chill because she still wanted to do personal projects. And we were like, you're sick, you should be resting, like you need to relax. And she would tell us about everything that was happening. She would tell us about when she go to the doctor, what the doctor said, and how her symptoms were that day.
And we tweeted some of this.
Yeah, we did tweet some of this, and we were like, you need to like relax, like chill, like lay down if you need to. And I remember, I actually read what she wrote, and one of the things she said that she was like forced to work when she was sick, and that's absolutely not true. We were so concerned, and we told everybody, we were like, everyone please like support her. And I remember fans even did this whole like
month for months thing.
Month for months, because everybody was so concerned for her and her health because she couldn't work. And it delayed the game.
Yeah, I literally said I would delay the games as long as she needed them to be delayed. Like, I was literally like health first, you know. And we told and I asked her for her consent. Like, do you want me to tell the people this? And she's like, yeah, please tell them. And so it's like, where is this coming from? I don't know.
Where this is coming from.
But because I think anybody who remembers those times will remember that literally happening, that she wasn't working. We literally said she's not going to be working for a month. Like, that's all on Twitter. That's documented.
It's all on Twitter. It's on the ADS Twitter. It was on her Twitter. It was on, like, I retweeted some things. I know some fans who retweeted things, like, who. So it's like she did not work, and it delayed the games, and fans were so concerned. We were so concerned. And then,
some people were worried she was like literally gonna die, and
it was really concerning. We were like, what is this?
Everybody was so stressed during that time, so we definitely didn't make her work. Like, how could I have made her work? I don't know, because she's remote anyway, so she could just not do it. But no, I didn't force her to work when she was sick. If she worked, it was because of her own. She wanted to.
Yeah, she wanted to do personal things. And, and then she'd tell us about how doing the personal thing was hurting her, and we were like, "Why are you doing it then? I don't understand. You need to rest." So that claim specifically baffled me, especially since we actually had like one of the chats. Like we had a whole other chat that was like specifically like we were like, "We need to chill. This is where you go to chill." Like, it wasn't the work chat, remember? Like, you made an announcement in that chat, like, hey, this is, like, the chill time. Everybody has to chill. And
literally, that announcement was there for a year, too. Like, I put a little, it's like, it was in Keiko. It was a little announcement that said,
it was like,
please chill. Please take care of your health first. Because I'm just very about health first. And I understand. So I would never do that. And on top of it, she said she was quitting for health reasons, but the next day after she quit officially on Twitter, she also on her Twitter opened up
on her own personal Twitter, opened up commissions.
Right. And so that made us thoughtful, but there's nothing we could do about that. We didn't come back and talk to her or anything. We completely, she left all of our personal chats, our work chats, whatever we thought, relationship ended, amicably, you know, like, one way or another.
Me and Agle, we wanted to be friends with her. We had a chat that wasn't work related. I mentioned this earlier with her, and she left that one too, and we didn't understand why. And then the very next day, she opened up commissions, and we were hurt by that. We were surprised and hurt by that because we were so concerned for her health, and then she started working.
Yeah, and I mean, and that was obviously like personal stuff, so we weren't gonna tweet about something like that, and we weren't gonna like drag her or whatever for any of that. Like, we just like, okay, well, moving on. You know, we keep things quiet as far as people's personal issues or any kind of interpersonal stuff. So it's like,
we were like, that's her life. If she wants to do that, then that's fine. And we left it alone. And we didn't talk to her for a year. We still have not talked to her. Yeah. We still haven't talked to her. And it's been a whole year. And
the last thing I remember too is like that she was the only thing that possibly could even be considered as conflict in our relationship was that sometimes she would have opinions that were different from mine, particularly. Like, I would just be talking to Chad about this or that. Like, I was talking about freelance, like, business, just my opinions on whether or not what would be the best thing to do for an artist, freelance or indie, or like working for a corporation. Yeah. And I think I was just talking about an article, and she expressed that she felt it would be best to be a freelancer, and I expressed that I felt it was best to be an indie. That was really it. And then a couple of weeks later, she left, and I thought about that after. Like, I guess that was her way of saying that she felt that the indie life wasn't for her. So I just was like, okay, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So I didn't think we had any problems.
Yeah, but it's like that. And the thing is, it wasn't even like we were saying, oh, being a freelancer is terrible, this, that, and the other. We never brought it up first, ever. Like to her, like, specifically. We never went to her and was like, oh, your choices are terrible. It was just like, oh yeah, here's a casual conversation, and then she would jump in and argue, and Agle and I were like surprised, and then we like just watched this conversation happen as Ajane had to like defend herself for some reason. Like, it wasn't a discussion. at all with her. She was just like, you're wrong on this thing, and it seemed like she felt like it was a personal attack, having a different opinion about it. It was very weird.
No, that would be the only thing I would consider any kind of conflict, but it never got to a personal level. It was just like, I was always just like, okay, let's agree to disagree, let's move on to our work. So, there's none of that there. There's none of the stuff she's claiming in that. Like, there's just not. We didn't even have a personal relationship to even get to that point. The last thing that she's claiming, the last thing that Marta is claiming is that we didn't pay her, or she only got paid once. There's literally tons and tons of literal receipts of where we did pay her, and I don't know why she would claim that, because she actually got when she first joined. Her and another artist had joined the project, and I told both of them that I didn't have the budget at that time to pay them, so any work that they decided to do until September would be pro bono, it would be free.
Yeah. And this is actually the email that you sent. If I hold it still up, there we go. It's like, after you guys figure out, right at the bottom, you'll see about
pro bono.
Yeah, you mentioning that it's pro bono.
So, so they basically said, that's okay. I can do, I want this project to start it. They did some work for free. And as soon as the Kickstarter, we did a Kickstarter To the Edge of the Sky. As soon as that money came in, I was like, okay, now I'm going to pay you for the work that you did. And then the first thing that we decided that, how we were going to pay her was, she had a tablet, a Huion tablet, and I actually had it shipped to her country, and that also cost additional fees. And then there was also, she needed a new laptop to work on, so there was that Asus laptop, and it was a really nice gaming laptop, because I picked it out and everything. I picked out both things, and I shipped it off to her country, and I bought it through Amazon. So it was literal, on my business account, bought it through Amazon, so literal receipts.
This is the receipt for the tablet itself. I'm trying to get the right distance, but this is the receipt for the tablet itself being shipped to her. And this is actually the review that she personally wrote. She wrote it in an email in response to Ajane.
There's actually on the Huion tablet, there's a review
from
Aeon Dream that I took from her and emailed from her, and I asked her, how's the tablet? They want me to review it.
Yeah, and it reads, it's pretty great, and at the bottom it's all in all 200% worth
the price.
And it's right there. If you look up it's a Huion. It's the Huion. I think it's the GT.
It's the big one with the screen on it that everybody loves, and you probably heard about
the Huion
Tumblr.
220. And this is the game. This is the gaming laptop that was bought for her. And as you could also see, it was around the same time in November. So
and it was that was the first payment,
So that was over $2,000 worth of equipment as the first payment that she personally decided on.
And I mean, to prove, there's literally, it's how's your new product, and it was sent to my work email. That's the thing, and then I actually end up
V2. If you guys
I literally asked her. I forwarded. I'm like, "Is it good?"
It's good,
and she's like,
"You can see the name, Marta Fernandez."
So it's it's pretty great. And then I say, "Okay, thanks. I left the review for them. You can." So it's that was over $2,000 right there. So that's a payment, and that's not just the only payment. There's also actual
we have receipts for actual PayPal payments to her. See, her name is on this side, to Marta Fernandez.
Right.
And this email is actually 2 payments, so there's 5 payments right here. And then in addition to her being bought over $2,000 worth of equipment.
Yeah, and it costs money. It costs $200. Yeah, just to ship it to her from customs fees and stuff. The company covered all of that. So I don't know why she's saying she only got paid once. I really don't, because there's literal receipts proving otherwise. And as for the very last month, the month in which she did not work, that she stated she was not going to work because of her health issues, she was not paid for that month because she did no work. And I talked to her and I said, since you're not doing any work and you're taking some time off, and the project needs to be on hiatus now, we're going to just like not pay. Is that okay with you? And she's like, yeah, that makes sense. So, because she wasn't working, so she didn't get paid for that particular month. So like that covers the whole time she was there, which is a very brief time.
I don't know why she said that she didn't work when, that she didn't get paid when you paid her both in very expensive equipment and in actual money.
So yeah, it's really disappointing to like that somebody would come and try to take advantage of what's happening now and come and bring up stuff, like especially when I thought we were amicable, like I didn't know, and we didn't have a personal relationship, and she was paid and she went off and she did her own thing, but I can't explain why she might have done it, but that's our side of the story.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can even literally go and
Twitter
look up and look. You can literally go on Twitter and search. You can go on Amazon and search for that review. Like there's tons of proof out there of what we're saying, and there's tons of proof that I literally have of me paying her. Now I don't like to bring personal issues. I really hate bringing personal stuff up to fans. I feel like that should be between us. Like if she had a problem with us, why did she not talk to us first? If she had a problem with any of those things, why am I hearing it on Twitter a year later?
A year later in a very particular time. Not even a year later when nothing was happening.
Yeah, a year later when everybody is starting to make rumors about us. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's just drama, and we don't want anything to do with it. We want to work. We want to focus on our work. We don't want to spend time talking about this stuff. We don't want to spend time thinking about this stuff. We just want to work and make up for the mistakes of the past and get the projects out. Like every day and night we think about getting these projects out. Like we hear you, we do, and we understand, and your feelings are valid. But at the same time, if what you're saying is not true, then that is slander. And why are you doing that? Like I can't understand what the motive would be to say lies. If what you're saying isn't true or isn't proven to be true, then you have to be careful of what you're saying. And at the same time, like, because you could be influencing people. Like, if you don't know if what you're saying is true and you're just spreading it by accident, then at the same time, you could be spreading it to innocent fans, have nothing to do with it, who didn't spread it and make other rumors out of it. And then, like, before you know it, you've destroyed people's lives because of delays, I guess, because of delays in the game. And I've already apologized for the delays. I've communicated. It's not like I'm not saying anything about the delays and I'm sneaking around and I haven't showed you anything and haven't released anything. We've literally released a whole Kickstarter game already, Mystic Destiny Serendipity of Aeons. We do have a track record. We have released most of To the Edge of the Sky Season 1 already. There's 3 chapters left. And we've, as far as Echoes is concerned, we have worked on it, but that was a different team. We have worked on it, and we had all the artists done for it. We had to see different CG artists come in and everything. So it's like we have been making progress, but it has been slow, and I acknowledge that. And I acknowledge that we haven't been able to communicate with fans who are concerned enough, and that's why I'm going to fix those things, So I don't understand why people are bringing up drama at this particular point in time. We would like very much to leave the drama behind and focus on what we can do better. Like, you can tell us what you can do better. We've seen people who are fans of us, who are telling us like, well, I think you should do this or that. Like, we definitely are open to hearing it. I cannot make any promises. It's like, I made a business because I don't like working for people partially. And I had ideas of what I wanted to do. Like I want to do things my own way. And at the same time, with the team I'm working with, I always take their opinions into consideration. If they tell me what I'm doing is a dumb idea, or they tell me that they have a problem with it or have personal, like, I'm going to work with them until we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. The team is literally just, like I said, been 2 to 4 people at max at any given time. And they've all been treated the same way as far as like being able to talk to me and I care about everyone. I care about the freelancers we work with. And why is it? I guess you'd have to consider why are we have you been able to work with so many like wonderful people who haven't said anything negative?
Yeah,
You know,
we have more than just Marta, who's worked with us and all of them, all the other people have only said good things about us, and it's not us tooting our own horn. We have acts like is everything okay? How are you doing? We've had artists who were like sick or had problems in their
or family,
in their life, family,
and then
and like we get concerned because we care about people, and then they're
sorry,
great.
I'm sick.
and they haven't turned around to anybody saying, "Oh, these people are terrible. They haven't cared. This, that, and the other." Like one artist disappeared for a while, and we were so concerned.
We were so worried.
So scared. We were like, "Oh my gosh, she's not talking to us." And then we found out that she's okay. So.
We found out she's okay, and she was having personal family issues. At one point in time, literally last year, 2 to 3 of our freelance artists, they lost family. And it happened all at once. And I was just like, forget the project. They were like, I can't draw or I can't paint. I am so sorry. I'm like, forget the project. That doesn't matter. And unfortunately, yes, those things do lead to delays. But we are not going to communicate someone's personal family stuff and literally throw them under the bus and say
so
this is on hiatus because of this person's family member died or something like that. We're not going to say any of that.
Yeah.
Or that this person got really sick, or they couldn't get things done because of a I don't know, religious holiday. Like I've had people like say, oh, I didn't get something done on time because of of a holiday or something like that. And they're like, and I would be like, you know what, take all the time you need for whatever it is that's going on in your life. I'll figure out a way to work around it. I consider that my responsibility. So I just think that. And I have a good relationship with those freelancers to this day, and I'm going to continue to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
understand where these accusations came from.
Yeah.
Because they came from nowhere and they have like no grounds, and it's like, and we already addressed it, the artist situation in the Discord, the To the Edge of the Sky Discord.
Yeah, and on Discord you can come and talk to us directly and ask anything.
Yeah. We've had people that they've come and ask us anything. We're not going to tolerate like actual discord in the Discord. But like we have people come and ask us stuff. Like someone actually, the reason why I found out about this is because someone was like, "Hey, is what Mon said true?" And I was like, "What did she say?" And then they posted it, and then we addressed it, and that was it. And that happened. And it was
and we addressed it in the server in front of everybody so they could be free to tell it whoever they want to, because we're not afraid of talking about the problems, but most 99% of people who are complaining, they do not come and talk to us. I have literally gotten not a single DM or anything like that.
They don't come to us personally. They just
go out there where we can't see it, and then they say a bunch of stuff and we're like, why? If you have a problem, let us address it.
And very few people actually have said, "Oh, hey, what's the story behind this?" And then when they do, there's it's usually antagonistic, and it doesn't. Not only does it not give us the benefit of the doubt, but it's in a way where we can't even defend ourselves.
Yeah, and then if we even try to say "Hey, that's not true," then people are like, they pile on and it draws attention to something negative, and it's like, so we're in a really difficult position where we've learned that all we can do is keep our mouth shut and keep working, because nothing
works. People demand answers, and then we give the answers, and they get mad,
or they twist our words,
or it's not enough, or it's like we can be brutally honest, and then they'd get mad, or we can be like honest, but not share some details, and then they'll get mad because we didn't share the details, but then when we share the details, they get mad again for sharing the details. So it's like, so I don't understand. I've actually seen this happen with other creators. I've seen this happen with a woman who, she runs an actual pet site, like a pet simulator, and personal stuff happened in her life, and then people were, and she couldn't run the game. And then people were like, "Oh, why isn't the game up, this, that, and the other?" And she had to have someone else share for her because she was indisposed or whatever. And they were trying to be vague, trying to be respectful of her situation. and then people were still like not accepting it, and then she finally gave details, and then people were like, oh, you didn't have to give the details. And then she actually said, like, if I don't give the details, you guys are mad. If I give the details, you guys are mad. What am I supposed to do?
I don't.
So this is not just a thing. This happens to creators all the time, and it's honestly ridiculous in my opinion. Like, I don't understand why this happens.
There's a saying that people want comforting lies instead of the truth. That people don't really. I heard something like that. I've heard something like saying that people want to people don't really want to know what the police do. For instance, I've heard something like that. They want comforting lies. They want to believe the police are doing certain things a certain way, and then like when the police like give the truth, then they feel like, wow, that's awful. Why did you tell? So it's like, but we're unfortunately not people to lie. We just don't. We don't lie, and I will totally admit, we are brutally blunt, honest, but we always do try to be polite.
Yeah.
We might be sassy or like sarcastic or any of that, but we never are like directly mean to anybody. Like, even if you are blatantly racist or something, I'm not gonna like sit there and like call you names. I'm not gonna curse you out or anything. I might just like give a snarky reply and leave. Like, that's just who we are. And the reason I'm running an indie business is not to make a bunch of money. It's to share my work with the world in the way that I want to, and run myself in the way I want to. And I try not to run my teammates. Like, I'm gonna let them do pretty much what they want, unless I think it's gonna be really bad. I'm like, no, don't do that, because that's gonna be bad for everybody. Like, it's gonna be bad for you. But other than that, I don't really like. I just want everybody to be themselves and do things in a way they want to do them.
Yeah, and it's not like now since it's just the two of us, it's not like I run around either in fear of doing something for fear it might be wrong or whatever, and it's not like I run around like just doing whatever I want. Like, I do consult her, like, hey, do you think this is a good idea?
I consult her as well too,
and and she'll be like, hey, how do you feel about this? Like, we consult each other, and whatever we put out is approved by both of us. And even before Ugly left, she was also part of that. She also like approved or like asked for approval. Like, we
always worked as an actual team.
We're an actual team.
So
someone actually asked me, like, why do you stay with this team? Because of all the rumors that spread around, and I told them, like, because we're an actual team. Like, we're just a group of friends who want to make games and share our work with the world. But we're being met with this.
Yeah. And it's a frustrating situation. It is, and I don't know what the way out is exactly, but I do know that we do really love our games, and we're super passionate. And I mean, I was going to go here alone if Jackie hadn't said she wanted to continue and step up. Mm-hmm. And I feel guilty a little bit, because Jackie, like, she's getting all this crap that is like, it's like, if you had left, it would just be me, and I wouldn't even have really said too much about it.
That's not how it works. I don't abandon my friends.
But I was like willing to go and work on my own, because it is significantly. I would like to also state that most of the work is significantly my vision. It's significantly me. Like, I did the UI. I do a lot of the programming. I do the final stuff. I do the editing. I do the direction. I do a lot of the stuff. So I basically have I just have people help me most of the time, and then within the company itself, I try to consult creatively. But like, freelancers just do their work, and within the company, I consult people creatively, and I also consult them on the people in the company. I usually do tend to consult on business decisions, or like how I'm going to approach myself, because I know it'll reflect back on them. So anything I'm saying, even my personal thoughts I say or on the blog, it's literally, I've let them read it first generally. Like, I'm like, here you go, before I post it, do you want to read this?
Yeah.
Make sure everything's okay.
And if like, and sometimes it'll be like, where she'll be like, hey, I posted this, we'll still look it over and be like she'll actually tell us beforehand what she's gonna say. Like, hey, I'm just gonna tell them about this, and we're like, yeah, cool. And then she'll post it, and then we'll read it over, like, yeah, that's exactly what she said she was gonna write, and we agree with it, and that's it. And also, just to clarify, all of her roles are not because she just went and grabbed them for herself. It's because we can't do it. It's because I can't. I don't. Not only do I not usually not know how to do like the UI and like programming and all that, but I physically can't, because I don't have a computer, and I can't like do any of that stuff on my own. I don't really have that skill set, and you've had time to like develop that. and even beforehand, it's literally just like the division of.
It's pretty much
work.
everything fell to me because other people couldn't do them, or
Yeah.
which is fine, it's fair. And I happen to be able to do a lot of different things because I practiced those hobbies like when I was a kid. Like it just happened to be that I happen to have a lot of skills.
It's not that she's 75% of the company because she wants to be 75%.
No, I would love it if somebody came in and was like, "Oh, hey, I can do this for you." I'm like, "Thank you."
Eventually, I will. Once all my stuff is nice and in order, then eventually I will. Then there'll be more of a balance between the two of us.
But at the same time, I also don't like. I grew to be fine about it, like because it gives. Like, I will admit that it does give me like a certain amount of like control of the creative control. It is helpful because that way I can make sure that things like, for instance, the UI reflects exactly the vision that who was the director, had for the game. I can make sure that the final product is exactly the way the vision should have been. But the thing is, I do take into account everyone's feedback. Even the freelancer I'm working with can give me feedback. You know, I do ask them for feedback sometimes. Yeah. So even if they're like not creatively a part of the project, I'm like, what do you think? Do you think we should change this? You know, because I want people's feedback. I want to make the best product I can. So it is useful to have all those roles, but at the same time, I'd be willing to give them away to anyone who understood the creative vision. Yeah. Because I'm not like that. I'm not like, my ego doesn't grow from me having a bunch of roles. The only thing I'm just really happy when a game comes out like I wanted it to. That's really it. That's what makes me happy. Yeah. So it's like whatever it takes to do that, that's what I'll do. Like if it requires me doing 100% of the work, then that's what I would do. But I can't draw. That's the only thing I can't do. So I can't draw
either. So that's why we have so many artists. Neither of us can draw.
That's why most of the freelancers are artists. I can't draw and I can't do super complicated programming. So I have a programmer, I have artists, and those things cost money. And I also do so many roles as well so that other people don't have to be burdened by them. Mm-hmm. And because I know that I can maybe do it well enough or better or whatever, like, you know, because they may not have experience. Because I happen to have the experience. I happen to be lucky enough to be like trained by some of our art directors that we had, and other people weren't. So it's just like, this is whoever's best suited for the job should be doing the job. Is how I feel. So whoever it is, and I understand that's blunt, but I'm just saying, like, whoever, if Jackie came out and she was like, "Hey man, I can do UI stuff," and I was like, "Dang, her stuff is better than mine," I'd be like, "Go ahead," because it's just like whoever is going to make the best project, who's ever going to make the best product in the end. Like the best game that they can make. Like that's what it is. That's what a team is. Everyone should be doing what they like the most and what they're best at, the most. Like sometimes I would also take over stuff when people didn't feel comfortable with the role. Even if they could do it, I would just be like, you know what, I'll do it, because I felt like that was my job as a leader and just making sure that the thing got done. So, but I don't think that people realize that when they're like, oh, you're throwing people under the bus, you're throwing your team under the bus. I'm like, a lot of the stuff that it's me. It's a lot of it's me. I was responsible for those things, so I really don't have people to throw under the bus. And freelancers have nothing to do with us. They're not to blame for anything. If they miss a deadline, that's on me, because that's me. I should have been planning accordingly. Like that's how it works. Like you can't blame the freelancers because they missed a deadline or that affected your whole entire project. That I should have planned better. So I've tried to take the blame, but then that makes people angry. So I don't know. So that's why we're just like, okay, well, people are going to be mad at us no matter what we do.
Yeah, we kind of accepted that. So now we're just going to continue on doing our obligations, rather than doing the games and stuff.
Yeah, and we really, really want a chance to improve on those things. And like I said, I know the areas we're weak. I've listened. Like there's a difference between feedback and malicious rumors. Like feedback, genuine feedback. I did see that stuff. I do see it. Of course, there's a point which is no longer
valid.
It's doesn't helpful. It's not helpful anymore. Yeah. After if you told me a year ago that I suck at this thing, and I'm like, okay, well I see what you're saying, and then I'm working on it already, and you keep telling me over and over again, then you're just like kicking me while I'm down, and I already acknowledged that I'm if I've acknowledged it, then I'm working on it. And so at that point,
yeah, we're people who learn from our mistakes. We don't just say, oh, someone's saying this thing, I'm not gonna listen to it. Like people who there are some people who say that we don't accept criticism, but the thing is, the criticism that's going on is literally stuff that we've already acknowledged and have said that we've acknowledged. And at that point in time where we're like, you guys need to stop. We've already heard it like 1,000 times already, and it's not helpful at that point. At that point, that's when it's just hate. Like at that, but like it's because once people get to that point of just telling us 1,000 times, they're just angry and yelling at us, and that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all.
And a lot of the criticism is just downright rude, and they don't think it's the way they said it. It's not the criticism; it's the way you say it.
The way you say something can seriously change how someone receives it. Like if you're like, hey, I noticed this thing, I think maybe you should do this. Like that's criticism. Like
I would listen. Like, I would at least be willing to listen.
Yeah, but if you're like, oh, not to be rude, but like you guys did this thing and it was terrible, and this, that, and the other, or I hated this thing or whatever, or I just didn't like it because like that doesn't help.
And then I respond like sassily, or we all do, because I'm like, okay, this person said something that was really rude. I'm not going to like curse them out or something, but then I'm just like, okay, like I can't help it. I'm sassy. I'm honest too. I'm like
sassy
that, that honestly, like, cause yes, that hurts our feelings. And you can say, oh, well, you should be more mature. We're artists, and artists are sensitive. I'm just going to say that they're sensitive about the work, because we're working our butts off every day to do something, and then if you carelessly say what you like, well, I don't like it, it's gross, then it's hurtful. It is hurtful, and we're not gonna like curse you out or block you or something like that for it. But we might say something back because you carelessly came in there, not treating us like with respect. And then you want us to not respond to you in a sassy way. That doesn't compute for me.
And then there's also, like, for people who criticize the art, particularly the finished pieces, people who criticize the finished pieces, you're not just hurting us. You're hurting the freelance artists who have worked hard on that piece, and they were proud of that piece before we showed it, and now you're hurting them. You're not attacking. We didn't draw that.
Right.
We may have designed it, but the people who drew that, they were proud of it.
Yeah.
And then you're hurting them by saying, oh, I don't like how this looks. Or, oh, this looks weird. Like you're hurting those people. And those people have feelings too.
And then they come to us.
And they're hurt. Yeah, they're hurt. They're coming to us hurt, and we want to protect them.
Yeah, basically. So, and we do get defensive over that, because we're like, wow, we know that our fans can be that way, and we're kind of used to it, so we don't.
Yeah, but they're not.
But they're not used to it, and I'm like, I feel terrible. And it's to the point where they don't even want to work with us because our fans are like this, and it's just like, we need to have our fans understand that this is that we don't appreciate that kind of criticism, because it's hurting the people we are working with, and it's different. And when it's a finished art piece, we're not going to go back and change it because you didn't like something.
We're not.
It is our creative vision, and we're showing it to you because we want to share it. And you can say, well, I don't like it, but da-da-da. And that won't really affect anybody. But if you're just like, you should change it because I find this ugly, that's just rude. It's like, we're not going to.
We've seen so many comments like that, like, oh, I don't really like this, it's not attractive to me, or I don't like how this looks, you should change it back, or this, that, and the other. And it's like, this is a finished piece. It's not getting changed. You're hurting the artist's feelings.
Yeah, like those pieces that you're commenting, your 2-second comment that took them maybe like 6 to 8 hours to do. And it took maybe us, like, it took usually me for designing characters, usually me. Maybe it took me some days to find to conceive the design. I've drawn it like 700 times. I'm used to that criticism though, so I don't always usually don't even I don't even look at the comments. That just makes us not want to look at the comments, honestly.
Yeah.
But I feel so terrible because some of our artists have literally just they've lost their ability to draw because of how down they are. Because artists are sensitive towards their works. That's just how it is. You can say, well, you need to be a business. We're artists.
We are
running a business only because the only reason I have a business is because you're legal reasons. Yeah, exactly.
Legal reasons.
To sell games, you need to have a business. It benefits you more. It's legal reasons. If I was any way I could not have it be a company name or something like that, I would. I just want to share my art. I don't care about the other stuff. That's how artists are. And you could say, well, you got to grow up. Why should we have to be the ones to change? How we respond? Like, we're just responding to you like a person, like if a person came up to you on the street and they said, "I hate your hairstyle," you would probably respond rudely because they attacked you.
Especially since you're not
You don't know
dressing
them
for,
either.
you're not dressing for that particular person. You're literally just showing the world who you are, and that's how we are with our work. We're just showing the work.
And then, of course, you don't know the person either, so it's
Yeah.
different. It's a little bit different. Now, as far as criticism goes, like, if I do something creatively and I want criticism, I'm gonna go to my team. I'm going to Jackie. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, this looks dumb. This is great. This is, what should I fix about this?" Because I know her and I trust her and I know she understands the way I'm trying to go. And I would do that with anybody I was currently working with. If they're on my team, then I'm going to go to them for criticism. I'm going to go to anybody outside of my team that I trust as well, that I think might have good criticism. It's not that we don't want criticism. It's just the way that it's being done, and it's being done so carelessly, and it's being done so rudely and callously that it is literally hurtful, that of course we're going to respond. You're not going to get anything out of it but us to respond negatively, or us to not even read your comment, or just to scroll past it and be like, "Well, that person wasn't nice."
When we're showing our stuff, we're not looking for criticism.
Yeah, we're looking for you to comment, give your opinions on it, but like criticism, artistic criticism.
We're not looking for artistic criticism. If you're like, "Oh, it's not really to my taste, but it's still nice," or, "Oh, I don't really like it too much," that's fine. That's your opinion. Go ahead. But if you're like, "Oh, you should change this because this, that, and the other," or, "Oh, I don't like how that looks, you need to change it back," like that's when we're like, we're not accepting that. That's unasked for criticism.
Because we're not going to be able to change it. We're not going to be able to change it. And besides that, you're literally saying, "I reject your creative vision and I want to assert my own," which is, I find it disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
So I may now, will I like go off and curse you out? No, because I do recognize, like, we do have professionalism, regardless of whether or not you agree. We believe we have our own kind of professionalism, because it would be rude to do that, and I wouldn't want to do that. Like, anyway, that's just overreaction. But you might get a snarky response back because that makes us rude. That was rude. And we want you to know that we thought that was rude, and we're not going to be changing anything.
Yeah.
So it's and that pisses a lot of people off, and that's fine. You don't have to like us or the way we do things. You don't. But we're genuine people, and we're kind-hearted people, and we are protective of the people we work with, because we don't think anyone should have to feel that horrible just from working with us, just from trying to show our creative vision. That hurts me so much when I ended up like, I end up comforting those artists, trying to comfort them, and trying to tell them to ignore the comments and all that stuff. It's like people don't see what happens behind the scenes. They don't see what happens behind the scenes. They just leave their 2-second comment. They don't realize that there's a stream of other comments like that, and it wears on you.
Yeah, last night I remember you actually told one of our artists, you were like, I want to tag you in your work, but I don't want you to see the negative comments that we've been getting. And that artist had to like reassure us that it was okay to tag her, because like she only saw certain comments, and the ones that she had seen so far have been positive. So she said she didn't even look at some of the comments because she already knew that those comments would be bad. So it's like the only thing that careless criticism is doing is like killing that creator fan bond, and that's all you're achieving with it. And it's like, if you want to kill that, fine, but if you want us to change and cater to you, then that is not going to happen. That's not going to happen with almost any creator, to be honest. And if they did, then it wouldn't be them. You came for their art. Yeah.
And if you kill their desire to even do art anymore, then it's like, who's winning? Nobody's winning at that point. So, all
right. Well, we had other things to talk about too.
But
that was a very big.
Yeah.
Right.
And we are going to talk about the other things in a separate video, a second video. So this was really long. Unintentionally very long, but we actually had a lot to say on the subject, and people are probably going to hate us just for being honest, but honestly...
I've accepted people are going to hate us for being honest, but at least we did address some of the rumors that have gone around, so...
Right, so, it's okay if you don't like the way we are, but please If you don't like the way we are, just don't be our fan. That's fine. Like,
leave,
please find something that makes
basically.
you happy. Don't stay with people that don't make you happy. If we don't make you happy, find something that makes you happy. But we're not going to change. And if we were to change, we wouldn't be the people that you came for in the first place. We wouldn't be making the art that you came for in the first place. So it's just, please try to love all artists and they respect their efforts and talk to them politely and give them encouragement if you so choose. If you like their work, give them encouragement. Yeah. If you like their work but you feel like you really have to criticize them, just understand how they might perceive it. Like, it's gonna be they what if they see when they're having a bad day?
Yeah.
So many artists in this world are like committing suicide and they're depressed and they have mental health problems and stuff. And a large part of it is careless fans who are saying whatever they want to say. And then there's a mentality that says, hey, we expect artists to take that. And when I say artists, I mean not just like literal artists. I mean writers, producers, directors, singers, performers in general, like anybody creative who's sharing their work with the world. Everyone, they're expected to take it. They're expected to just lay down and take criticism. They're expected to just do whatever. Like when people say jump, they're expected to jump. And that's unhealthy for anybody.
That's why artists are like throughout history, like it's proven track record, artists are some of the most depressed, suicidal people in the world, and it's because of the things that they have to hear, and we do not want to turn out like them. So that's why.
Yeah, we don't want to turn out like them, and we want to protect other artists from that too. And we want to start reminding people, artists are people. They deserve respect.
Yeah, that's why we don't accept the rudeness.
The rude parts.
Like,
yes.
And
that's why we do respond back. Like
we respond back because
we want you to know, we want to explain our creative vision and explain that it's ours and we're people. Yeah, we want to have a discussion. And a lot of people consider us responding back at all as an argument. They're like, well, you didn't have to say anything back. You could have just but why wouldn't I? You just talked to me. I'm a person. You came into my phone generally and you said something to me and I'm now responding to explaining why I chose that.
Like, just, I guess if you walked away with anything from this, just to sum up this video, it's just the two of us, not counting our contractors, because they're not part of the creative team, nor are they, part of ADS, right? What Mons said, Marta, is not true, and we showed you the evidence. And creators are people, and there's a big difference between critique and being rude and having an opinion. And we're not going to accept the whole artists should just accept whatever, because we're people and we have emotions, and we're not going to be rude, but we are going to respond if you come up to us saying something. Because if someone came up to you and said something that you didn't like, you would say something back. Most likely. So
yeah, this isn't that it's just that capitalist. The customers are. It's like you're not customers to us. You're just people talking about art. Like, it's not a customer. It would be different if you were talking about, oh, there's bugs in your game or something like that. That's not criticism. You're helping us out, and you had a problem with our product. Then I'm going to respond to you like a customer service way. Or if you're saying, hey, I had a problem with a sale, those are customer service. But when we're on social media, that's for discussions and interactions. So it's a whole different. We want to talk to people like people to people. Mm-hmm. Just people to people talking about our work.
If you say something, we're going to respond. And why? Because we don't see you as a customer, we see you as a person, and we're trying to have a discussion with you. We want to have that bond with the fans where we can actually have discussions with people about our works. And if you don't like what we say, then maybe we didn't like what you said.
Yeah, that's often it. And I would say just remember that we're trying to also change things for artists in general. Like, we're trying to change that attitude. I mean, I'm sure you probably heard stories where people did something and then they got social media beat down, basically, just for whatever they created. Like, just because it wasn't what people thought they should. And I don't think people deserve that just for putting their works out. It's just making artists terrified to share their works out into the world. And
It's
if we
really,
establish,
yeah.
if it's the fan culture is toxic, the fan culture on social media right now is toxic. But I believe there can be a world where it's more balanced. It's not that you should never say a negative comment ever, but you will need to respect the creator and respect the work they put into it, and then be thoughtful about your comments and understand that you're engaging in a discussion with a human being and not just yeeting some stuff out into social media and that we're just not going to see it. Like, if you don't want us to see it, then don't say it.
If you don't want us to respond, don't say it on our posts.
Right. I mean, you could, and you could definitely go and say whatever you want on like, we're not going to come find you.
Yeah, we don't
if you're
find
talking
people.
about like if it's outside of our posts, then and you want to critique us and say all that stuff, go ahead. Like, you're right. I mean, please don't say any lies though. Please
don't
tell
lie.
the truth. Don't start rumors. But
and
if you want to talk bad about us, like, just as long as you're not doing it directly in front of us, go ahead. And if you do want to talk bad about us directly in front of us, why don't you just contact us instead so we can talk it out if you want to solve the problem.
Like, send us a DM.
And if you want to understand us.
Send us a DM on Twitter, not our private DMs. Send ADS a DM, right?
I think the DMs are closed right now.
Wow, well, send it to us whenever it's open. But don't.
I would recommend.
Go on, like, the Discord.
Yeah,
if you really
the best way because we don't mind.
Go on Discord. I am the most active on the Discord. I am the head admin. I run that Discord. It was my suggestion. I created it. And it's a place. It was
my suggestion.
No, before,
and then I asked you to do it
beforehand. No. I was like, hey, maybe a Discord, and it was like, whatever. And then you were like, hey, didn't you mention this earlier? And then it was like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
Well, I'm not gonna argue about it. But why are you following us?
Yeah,
this is who we are.
If you don't want to hear from us, then I don't know why you're asking to hear from us, to be honest.
Basically. So anyway, it was a super long, rambling, but hopefully useful video for anybody wondering what's going on and who we are and how we think and all of that. And we know that how we think, by being honest and genuine and blunt, might be controversial, but it is who we are, and that's who we want to continue to be. And at heart, we have really good hearts. Whether or not you believe it, we do have really good hearts, and we care very much about each other and other people. And we just really want to make really great games that are like fun for both of us, because we're like fun for both of us and you, because we're fans of our games and we're fans of our writing, because we're fans of each other and we're fans of having, like, we love the experience and we love being game developers. And it's not about the money or how many fans we have. It's about, like, just being happy with our work and being happy with our fan base and enjoying everything. That's what life is about. Being healthy, having healthy relationships, healthy work, healthy life. Yeah. So
don't do what you don't enjoy doing. And we're trying to do what we enjoy doing.
And we're trying to do it in the way we enjoy doing it. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. We support you in your decision to leave if you want to.
We're not judging you for not liking how we're doing things. There's a reason why there's different art styles. Different things appeal to different people.
Right.
And this is ours. And if it doesn't appeal to you, then you should find one that does. Because then you'd be happier. And we want you to be happy.
Yeah, we definitely
don't want you to be angry constantly, especially not at us.
Right. We're just trying to do our thing.
Yeah, that's not our goal at all. It's very counterproductive.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to share our stuff, and then the people who like it, we hope that they'll talk to us in a polite way. And the people who don't like it, we hope that they'll find something else that makes them happy. And we just want to have positive interactions, even if it's about negative things, with these fans. And that's it. That's all we wanted to say. So thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to watch our second video, which is about the second part, which is about the development of To the Edge of the Sky and Mystic Destiny's Echoes and some of the stuff we're changing and stuff we've been talking about since the hiatus started. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.